Hello Stampers, Kelly Acheson at stampabove.com coming to you from Menasha, Wisconsin. Thank you so much for joining me for this video today. It's part of the One Stamp at a Time blog hop where our theme is Pocket Full of Posies. So I read that to be anything flowery, anything springtime. I had so much fun making a rainbow of colors with this particular card layout. I chose the Daisy Delight and the Daisy Punch for my project today. And I'm going to show you how I use this punch to make half a flower instead of a full flower. Let's get started and I'll tell you all the juicy details. The first thing I like to do is bring in my card layers, and I am using Berry Burst. This is one of our in colors. This is not retiring. Whew. I absolutely love Berry Burst. I've got 2 pieces of Very Vanilla here. Oh, by the way, this is 8.5 by 5.5, and I just folded it in half. I've got 2 pieces of vanilla that are 4 by 5.25. A piece of our Wood Textures Designer Series paper. I love this paper. You can use it for so many different things. Here are the samples of it. You've got this cut of an end log here and a whole bunch of end logs, and then all these fabulous patterns of wood grains. Aren't they just fabulous? Oh, I love them. I have a lot of people asking me, where did I get this little booklet? I made it. I just took my Designer Series paper and I cut 3 by 6 each one of the sheets, and I put it in a piece of crumb cake cardstock, put a label on it, and stapled it together. So this is a great way to be able to take these packets to my classes so that my customers can see this paper in real life. When you see something in real life, you know, sometimes that makes all the difference in the world. Pictures sometimes can't do it justice, and I feel that's true about this paper. So this can be found in the annual catalog on page 187. I chose this particular pattern today, and this is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And then I've got a scrap of Berry Burst. I've already cut out a scallop oval and used my Stitched Shapes framelits to cut out this oval. I've got a little piece of our lace trim. This is a 1/2 inch wide, and it's vanilla, so that goes along with my vanilla theme. And then a scrap of early espresso. So let's get things going here. I'm going to bring in my piercing mat. This is recommended to use with photopolymer stamps, and those are our clear rubber stamps. They just stamp better with a tiny bit of cushion, and I've wrapped my piercing mat with a piece of copier weight paper to protect it so I don't get ink all over it. I've got early espresso and Berry Burst ink here, and the first thing I want to do is stamp my flowers. I'm just going to stamp a flower here. Oops, that might be a little too close. You know what? I think it is too close to the edge. Let's try that again. That's better. I want to be able to get 2 flowers out of this piece. Can I do it? I can. Yay! Okay, I've got my flowers stamped. Then I'm just going to do all the stamping first. I've got this piece of early espresso, and I'm going to stamp it with early espresso ink. So we did tone on tone here with Berry Burst and Berry Burst, and now we're going to do early espresso and early espresso. And this is the center for my flowers. Got a 1/2 inch circle punch here to punch those out. Where would we be without our circle punches? Absolutely love them. I'm just going to set those aside. I'm going to bring in my daisy punch and line this up with my image and do the same thing over here. I find after making a whole bunch of these cards this morning, I'd kind of forgotten about this, but if you line up, when you stamp it, if you line up one petal just straight, you know, up and down like this, your punch will go into it perfectly. You don't have to cut off any corners to get the punch in there where it needs to be. Ask me how I know that. I did it several times this morning, and I was getting just a touch frustrated because I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. You know how that is. Okay. Then I'm going to bring in one of the very vanilla layers. This is going to be the inside of my card. One's for the front, one's for the inside. Inking up this thank you and the early espresso. I'm just going to stamp that. And then I'm going to bring in this cute little daisy to give it a little bit of accent and interest on the inside. Right? Isn't that cute? Love that. Okay. Now we're going to get our daisies ready. So how did I make these half a daisies? You don't fold these in half, because if you did that, then you wouldn't have any stamping on the other side that's going to show in the front also, right? All you need to do is cut these right in half. And I'm going to cut that in half. And then do you see the little pokey edges left over? You want to kind of cut that off too, because they might stick out from behind your early espresso center that we're going to put on here. Cut in half. And then again, I'm going to take this piece and cut off those little pokey edges. They don't look real good. And then we're just going to glue them together. Put a little glue right here. And bring this in, and you're going to stagger it so that your petals are in between your petals. Does that make sense? The petals on the top go in between the petals on the bottom. And notice I'm putting my glue way down here at the bottom, not way up there, because I didn't even touch that with the second layer that I put on top. So you want to kind of put it down towards the base of the center. Here we go. And then same thing for the early espresso centers. I wanted to just put glue on this, but that's not a good plan. You want to put glue right on your flowers versus the center of your pieces, because they only cover up half of this, right? You would have glue all over sticking out there. Not going to hurt anything, but it's just a better way to do it. It's more efficient. And then dimensionals. I love dimensionals. Don't you love dimensionals? They're my favorite. I think I use dimensionals more often than anything else. Okay, we've got our dimensionals there. I'm going to bring in our wood layer, and we need to stamp the stems. Let me get rid of that little piece. Now, I like to kind of bring in my flowers and do a little dry fit. Where are you going to put your flowers? Doesn't that already look so pretty? I think I'm going to put my flowers right there. So I'm going to ink this up in the early espresso. And now I'm going to come in here and move that out of the way. Very easy. This gives you good placement. You know where your flowers are going to be. I'm going to do this again for the other flower. I think I'm just going to stamp this right here. There we go. And now we're going to put on our lace trim. And because I don't like my ribbon to be flopping around, I like to add just a little bit of a snail runner in the middle so it'll keep that ribbon tacked down where it belongs. And then if you guys follow me, you know that I am a big user of tape on ribbon. It won't fall apart if you use tape. I don't like my cards falling apart. It's kind of like giving something to somebody that's of low quality. It's not my style. Okay. Here we go. We can add our beautiful little flowers. These remind me of Gerbera daisies. I think that's how you say that, right? Gerbera. I love those things. They're one of my favorite flowers. I'm just going to alternate that one. We've got one high, one low. And then for our greeting, I've got the "Your thoughtfulness brightened my day." What a sweet sentiment for such a pretty card. I'm going to stamp that right on my vanilla oval. And then we've got these cute little daisies. And I'm going to ink those up and stamp them right underneath. Isn't that cute? I love that. This is a pretty easy card to make. I made this berry burst card first, and then I thought, oh, this would be pretty in a whole bunch of colors. So then I made 3 other colors. I can't wait to show them to you guys because they're so pretty. Now, because the layer I'm going to attach this to has ribbon here, instead of putting my dimensionals at each end, which will fall on that ribbon, I don't know, I just have a thing about having my dimensionals be on the cardstock. So I'm actually going to put them on the top and the bottom of my oval so I know that it's secured there. It's not going to slide around if this tape lets loose. Again, I'm real weird about it. I don't want my cards falling apart. It's a weird thing. And now I'm going to add this to just a sliver of very vanilla cardstock, and that's really going to make this pop. It's kind of like if you have a lighter color and you add black behind it. That also, I've been doing that a lot lately because it makes your card pop. Now it's kind of hard to see right here, but let's get it on the front of our Berry Burst card base, and you'll know what I'm talking about. Isn't that just delicious? I love this card. I'm so pleased with it. I'm so glad that I got out my Daisy bundle. I haven't used it in a while. Of course, with winter, we're busy with fall and Christmas stuff, and then we have Valentine's Day and all that. So it's fun to get out these flower bundles. Isn't that pretty? I love stamping directly on the wood. I think that's kind of a neat way to do it. All right, you guys, are you ready to see the other colors that I made? Let me get my mess cleaned up here a little bit. I don't want to drop my cards in any ink or anything silly like that, right? What did I do here? There we go. We'll just get all these inky things out of the way. Here we go. Let's try Daffodil Delight. What do you guys think? Isn't that just bright and cheerful, and it's perfect for spring, summer? Again, I did the same thing on the insides of the cards. Now, instead of using Daffodil Delight to stamp my flowers, which I tried first, but it was so like muted, I used the Early Espresso, and that really made those flowers pop. With the Berry Burst, I didn't really need to do that because it was dark enough with the tone on tone that I thought it looked very cool. But with the yellow, I really wanted all the detail in these flowers. All right, so Daffodil Delight. How about a little Peekaboo Peach? What do you think of this one? Again, I used the Early Espresso to stamp my flowers. Very, very pretty. Remember, Peekaboo Peach is retiring, so if you need to get any extra before it's all gone, I recommend you don't wait. These are the types of things that when they retire, they go very quickly, and they're only while supplies last. You can hop right on my store. I'm at www.astampabove.com and place an order if you need extra re-inkers, if you want to get any of the matching ribbon. That's all going to be retiring. And last but not least, how about some Lemon Lime Twist? I was a little unsure of this, but you know, Gerbera Daisies come in this color, so that's what made me think of it. Thought, let's try Lemon Lime, and isn't that just so pretty? So there you guys go. What do you think? Please feel free to leave me a comment under my YouTube video or on my blog. I always love your comments. What's your favorite color? And don't forget, you want to click down here on the subscribe button to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You don't want to miss anything I have coming up. Also, if you need to place an order for any of these supplies, I would love to earn your business. You can click right up here in the top corner. That'll take you right to my blog. You're going to find an order online button in the right-hand column. You'll also find in the right-hand column a host code. If you use the host code, you get special perks with that when you place your order. So copy down that host code. When you go to put your order in, you're going to apply it on the bottom, and that's going to get you some special perks with me. You guys have a wonderful Thursday. Bye-bye.